Hello and welcome back to this course. My name is Sijesh, and this video we will see how to create catalogs, schemas and tables in Unity Catalog Metastore. So before starting creating the catalogs and tables, let's go ahead and create a cluster. From the Databricks workspace, we can create a simple cluster for our demonstration. So currently there is no cluster created. Let me go ahead and create a new cluster. And you can choose the policy. The unrestricted means there is no restriction, but there are certain policies, built-in policies available. You can choose that, but if you want to customize, use this unrestricted option. And one more thing, either single user or shared user. So you need to check in the summary, this Unity Catalog option is there, but again, if you use no isolation, I think Unity Catalog option is not available. So you need to choose either single user or shared. In my case, okay. So if you want to share your cluster, just use this shared, but it supports Python and SQL. However, you can choose a single user mode. Access mode, and who can access that you can add here, and choose the Databricks runtime version. So whatever the latest available, you can choose that. Auto scaling I'm turning off, and terminate the cluster after inactivity of 30 minutes. And how many worker node I need? So I just need a single worker node. So this is one way of creating, or else you can create from this policy, but this policy doesn't allow you to make any selections or customization. Okay, so I'm again changing back to unrestricted and single user. So I need to make sure this Unity Catalog in the summary, and auto scaling not required, and number of worker, yes, 1. That's it for my demo, and I'm just going to create this cluster, and it take some time to deploy, and you have to wait. So our cluster is deployed, and so we can go ahead and create catalogs, schemas and tables now. So this is our cluster, and you can back to this compute, and you can see our cluster is up and running. And you can check here in this data menu where it will list all the Metastore details. So the Metastore, this is the Unity Catalog Metastore created. And once you have a Metastore, by default you can see one catalog created, so that is the main, and under main you can see one default database or schema created, and whatever the tables you can create inside this. So this is the default available, and Hive Metastore is the one which available by default and which is local to this workspace. But this Metastore is something like shared across multiple workspaces. And let's back to this. Okay, let me create catalogs and schemas from the Databricks workspace notebook. Okay, let me just create and create a new notebook application. Okay, so I can just create a new notebook, and this is a cluster which I am going to use, and this cluster, this is the one which we already deployed. And you can choose this. This is by default, it's a Python notebook, and you can change it to SQL. Okay, and you can execute this command, show catalogs. Okay, so this will list what are the available catalogs in this system. Okay, so if you execute, you can see the Hive Metastore and the main, samples and system. So these are the default available catalogs, and Hive Metastore, this is the local one, and the main, so which is the default, and under main, so you can see one table schema called default. So what we are going to do here is so we are going to create a new catalog with our custom name. So you can create a one more cell and use this option like SQL. So create catalog, okay, so this is the catalog which I'm going to use. So create catalog. I think I can use this option if not exist. Okay, execute this. So this it executed, and now if we execute show catalog, so you can see whatever the new catalog we created. Okay, so you can see this kickstart catalog, and also from the graphical menu, if you go to the data, maybe let's open it in a new tab, and under the data explorer you can see whatever the new catalog we created. You can see this kickstart catalog is created, and inside that a default schema and information schema created by default. Okay, so you can use this graphical menu to create a catalog. So this option will help you to create a new catalog. So you can create the catalog by catalog name, and if you want to customize the location for this catalog, say for example you can choose that override the default location and use some comments. So the same thing you can execute from here by using create catalog SQL statements. The next is like so we have seen how to create a catalog. So create catalog if not exist, then we can create a schema inside this catalog. So what you can use here is like use this option, like again you have to choose this one, use catalog. So whatever the catalog we are going to select. So this is the new catalog we created. We are selecting that catalog or switching into that catalog. Then after that, if you create a schema, then whatever the schema we created will be created inside this catalog. Okay, now I can just use this create schema statement alone. Okay, so what I can use here is create schema if not exist, then kickstart. Okay, so this is something I'm going to use, and I'll show you the reason I use a use catalog. That is something like I'm selecting and entering into this catalog, and then the next step I'm executing, or maybe I can add here itself, and where I'm creating a schema if not exists, and this is the schema. Then this schema will be created inside this catalog. Let's execute and see this is executed, and let's just refresh this page and see that schema, where this schema is created inside that whatever the catalog we have selected. Okay, so this is the catalog, and you can see the kickstart schema. So this is the schema we created, has created inside that. So the selecting catalog is important. Otherwise, if you're not selecting this, there is another way to create, like so you can use append this catalog name dot whatever the schema name. Okay, so that way also you can create. So for example, if I just change this catalog, even if I am not selected this, I can use this option, like whatever the schema name dot catalog. So this will also work. Okay, so since we already selected, that is fine, but if you choose some other schema, that is also fine. Like if I choose this catalog, maybe the main catalog, but okay, so let me change this catalog to main. Then after that, this schema underscore 2 or something. Okay, so now I selected the main catalog, but even though I'm selected main catalog, but here I'm creating the schema, but the catalog dot schema name. In that case, so this schema will be created inside this Kickstart catalog only. So two options are there. Either you select this use option, and without this full name you can use. Otherwise you can use this full name, like so let's see that where it's created. Okay, so Kickstart catalog, and inside that this second one also created. Let me go inside this catalog itself and I can use this another statement like show schemas. Show schemas will list whatever the databases or schemas that we created. Okay, so these are the schemas available inside this Kickstart. Like if you change this, the reason is like we selected this catalog, and that is the reason it's listing the schemas inside that. Suppose if I choose this main here. Okay, so use catalog. Let me just copy this, and okay, and if I execute this one, I will get some other result. So I don't get this one. The reason is I'm inside this main catalog, and listing show schemas will list whatever the available schemas inside that selected catalog. And again, so this is my catalog. I can just change it to that catalog and execute the remaining statements. So if you want to get the detailed there are a little bit more details about that schema, so you can use this command like describe schema extended. So whatever the schema name, so whatever the Kickstart schema, whatever the schema name you selected, you can execute. So this will list the details about the schema. Okay, so what is the catalog name, so what is the namespace name, location, etc. will list here. Okay, so this is something like we are listing the details about this schema. And now, so we have selected the catalog. Now let's select this particular schema and create a new tables inside the schema. So for that, what you have to use is use whatever the schema. Okay, so we already selected that catalog. Now select the database. Okay, sorry. So what I use here is use, so whatever the schema Kickstart. Okay, maybe I can type. Okay, so selecting that and executing. So I selected that database, and now I can create a table. So the same thing what I will do here is use this SQL and create table if not exist. Kickstart table, and whatever the column A, then it's what is of type integer, then column B, and what is of type it can be a string, then that's it. Okay, partition by or those details you can add, but this is nothing like creating a simple table. So the table name is Kickstart table, and it's of 2 column A and column B, column A of type integer and column B of type string. And you can see a job is running, and the table is about to get created. At the same time, if you refresh here, you should be able to see that table created inside that whatever the schema you selected. So this is the catalog, Kickstart catalog, and under Kickstart schema. So this is the table you selected. You can see the column A, column B, what are the type, then it's a format, then the details, permission, history, lineage, lot of details available about that table. So you can get that from the graphical menu or from the SQL menu also. You can. So we can insert some values to that table. So that is also fine. What you can do is insert into table, so values, whatever, some values you can use, 1, then comma, okay. So we have created the table and trying to insert 2 values here, and you can see some sample data by refreshing this page. So we inserted some values also, and the same time, so if you go to this whatever the storage account in the backend where the Unity catalog is using, if you go to that and go to the container that we selected for this Unity catalog meta store, you can see some files are placed for this against this table. So this is again in the Parquet format, and that is for this particular table. And whatever the details, if you want to get, I mean, you can describe this table. The same thing you can get from the graphical menu also, like say for example, if you want to get the details about this table, so you can use this describe table, extended Kickstart table. So it will give you the detailed view of the table. It's nothing but the same or similar description about this table. And so if I want to get the details from this particular table, say for example, here is the table. So this table is inside the meta store, and inside the meta store there is a catalog called Kickstart catalog, and inside that catalog, so we have created schema called Kickstart schema. Inside that we have this table. So how do we access that from this query? So what you can use first is use, I can use this SQL format and use catalog. So whatever the catalog we are going to use, so the catalog is Kickstart catalog. Okay, so this is the catalog. Then inside that again you have to use schema, Kickstart schema. Then you can use select star from whatever the table. Okay, quick start table. So here what we are doing is, first we are selecting our catalog, then selecting our schema, then doing this query to fetch the table content. Let's execute this and see. So this is getting executed, even though, say for example, so you are first, maybe even before this one, so you are into a different catalog, say for example main or whatever. Okay, so you are into main catalog. Okay, now you are into the main catalog, and but if you execute this one from the, even though you are in the main catalog, it will change to this catalog, then into this schema, and it will execute. So another option is, say for example, let's go ahead and delete this. Okay, so you are into this main catalog. How do you access that particular table even without this use catalog option? So another option is, so you can use this fully name, like a select star from, see, whatever the catalog name. Okay, so catalog name is, sorry, whatever the fully qualified table name is, quickstart underscore catalog dot quickstart underscore schema dot so this is the table full name. So this is the catalog name dot schema name dot table name. So let's execute this. Even though you are into the main catalog, so you selected the main catalog, you are able to get that data. So this way also you can access the data. So now we have seen this naming pattern, like a catalog name, schema name, and table name, and you can execute from this SQL notebook, or also from the graphical menu, where you can create the schemas, catalogs, and tables. Hope it's very clear. Thank you for watching this video. We will see in the next video. Bye.